Hello and welcome to a new video. In my first attempt of drawing this, my brain just wasn't working. In my second attempt, I ended up watching dramas instead. And in my third attempt, my brain just fell down the drain. I think for me, one of the hardest parts about drawing is not just starting the drawing, but also not hating what you draw in the first few minutes. There was one time where I spent hours just drawing and perfecting a sketch, which in turn made me really frustrated because it just wasn't working, and I did end up finishing this piece. So while I think I did learn from that experience, I still have to regularly remind myself to not focus too much on the little details right from the start and just keep going, because that can really make you feel an artist block. And I know I'm talking about art right now, but honestly I use this technique in other aspects of life as well. For example, I'm not very good when it comes to test taking and time management, and those two things on its own is already not the most appealing to me. So when you combine the two together, it just hurts my brain so much. So during tests, what I do when I feel stuck is just move on to the next question, which I think many people have heard of already. So applying this technique to drawing works the same as well. I find that when I just step back from my drawing and look at what I should do next and then do it, it is a lot more effective than just ruminating on the sketch in the beginning phases, because it kind of blocks the momentum of the process. So I don't know if everyone can relate to this, but what I wanted to convey is just that you shouldn't beat yourself up if your drawing doesn't look the way you want it to in the beginning, because there will always be chances to make it look the way you want later on in the process. And it is especially easy to lose sight when you're doing digital art, because there is basically an infinite amount of times where you can tweak your drawing. Whereas with traditional art, there will be a point where you're just forced to move on because of the limitations of the media. For example, with like paint, like if you put too much paint on at one time, it just smudges, and you're forced to like wait until it dries and paint over that. Then like in that time between letting it dry and painting it again, you can like clear your mind. But with digital art, your mind just keeps wanting to change it, and being able to change it is both a blessing and a curse, I think, because if you can change it, of course it's easier to manipulate and make it look the way you want, but it's also like an endless cycle of just perfectionistic tendencies, which is why I have to constantly remind myself to just keep moving on and do like the basic shapes first and then add detail, because that way it's easier to not ruminate. Yes, that is my message. Thank you, and you can enjoy the speed painting piece now.